Okay, welcome to Yerushalmi Megillah. It's the last daf in Megillah, daf Mem Aleph, and we're at the bottom of daf Mem Amud Beis. Um, we are 6 lines from the bottom, the middle of the line. Reb Zura b'Shem Shmuel tzog Shema Shelo Rois HaPesach. The Shema of of the mezuzah has to see the wall. In other words, it should be the outer part. So you would actually invert it when you're rolling it up, so that Shema is, as you're rolling it from the end to the beginning, so the beginning ends up on top. Rabbi Yirmiyah Nazura, Kinemas Nita, there's a problem with this because tzir sheyesh lo shnei psachim. Tzir normally means a pivot. Right, over here it means actually like a pole. So if a pole, and you have two doors side by side, according to one shot. And the question is, if the Shema has to see the doorway, you got a problem here because you're going to put it in, right? You put it in on the on the walking in. So if you're putting it on the where you walk in from, it's on the right side. So if let's say if I put this on the right side, it's not facing the Shema is not facing this door. The back is facing it. So therefore, how are you going to do that? So kinemas need to freit the Gemara. Tzir sheyesh lo shnei pesachim nois nalez mehen sheyir. So you can put it whichever door you want, but hey shema shelo reis pesach. Then you're not going to have whichever door you're putting on. It's going to be facing away from the other door. The back of the mezuzah is going to be to the other door, which means shema is not facing the door. What do you do in such a case? The Gemara doesn't give an answer. Well, it says, if you have a house that's two entrances, nice and vertical, you hang the mezuzah in the door you use on a regular basis. Regular. Okay. How you shnei regilin? Let's say use two door, both doors are equally used. Today people have a front door, a side door, they use both of them equally. Which way do you put it on? Nice and bechazis. A couple of pshatim what this is. I'll just go with the one Reb Chaim Kanievsky says. Chazis is like um, you have in Baba Basra, where you put, right, it says if you have two shutfim or shira chatzir, and one guy built the wall, so he puts a chazis on the other side. So Kanievsky says that you put a chazis on the main door as a sign that this is a door that people use, and that's where you would put the mezuzah. Well, the pshat is that the carbonated pshat is that it's the door that people see more often. In other words, let's say it's your front door, people walk by, that's where you put it. Okay. Hoyshneim chazis. What about if both of them, right, are equally used? Imamish have, and they both have right, they both have a chazis. What do you do then? Okay, at that point, noisen al ezmen to put it wherever you want. Pesach shu psuch legag ulegina. Hareka Pesuach Lechel Divrei Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, according to Rechan Kanievsky, this means you have a Pesach that goes from the Gina to the Gag. So it goes from the garden you have to the roof of the house. So the Shah, the Gemara is, does this have a din of the house and it requires a mezuzah? Even though it only goes again, it's going from the Gina to the Gag. Now people used to use their roofs to spread out payers to hang laundry out. There was limited tashmish on the roof. So the question is, what do we view it as? So so the first sheet is harei k'pesuach l'chel, right? So Yossi B'Ruch says it's like pesuach l'chel. Chel meaning over here a chotzer, like you have the chel on the base of mikdash. So the chel so it has a din of since a gag has tashmish, like I said, people use it for things, they have limited usage, and a chutzah, especially in those days, also is used. So it's considered to be like it's considered to be like it has it's considered to be like part of the house, and therefore it's chayv mezuzah. Um, it's like opening into the marketplace, and therefore there's a din of a shuk, a public space, which does not require a mezuzah. Hadar b'chutz la'aretz, v'hadar b'pundik Eretz Yisrael. Somebody who rents a house, in this case, rents a house in Chutz La'aretz, or he is in a hotel, even in an Eretz Yisrael, shloishim yoyim, ein tzarich litem mezuzah. Up to 30 days, you don't have to put up a mezuzah. Yes, we can, but more than 30 days, tzarich litem mezuzah. Then he has to put a mezuzah. Hadod b'burgenin, someone lives in like a teepee, a hut. And it's a hut they used to make for shaimrim, out of straw or whatever. It wasn't meant to be a permanent dwelling. So the chiddush is, even over there, shloishim yoyim tzarich litem mezuzah. If you're there for 30 days, you have to put up a mezuzah. Hasoiche bayis mi Yisrael. Hasoiche bayis mi Yisrael. Somebody rents a house from a Yisrael. It's the responsibility of the soiche tzarich litain mezuzah. The renter is the one who has to put it to mezuzah because the mezuzah is cheves adari. Hasoiche bayis mi goy. Some rents house from a goy tzarich litain mezuzah. He has to put up a mezuzah. Kshu yoytzei, and when he leaves noitel, he can take the mezuzah with him. Yisrael also allows us. However, by Yisrael, you're not allowed to take the mezuzahs with you. And Rabbi Yaakov Ba'acha b'shem Rabbi Shaya pnei Meiser She'ira, because of a story that happened in Ma'is Ba'acha, there was a story with a guy Shenotel, he took his mezuzahs with him. He moved out of a house where he kov his bonav, and unfortunately, his children died. And that's the minig. Hadar b'pundiki, and by the way, you can charge the incoming tenant. That means you don't have to leave him the mezuzahs for free. You can charge him for it. Hadar b'pundiki chutz la'aretz shloshim yom ein tzarich litem mezuzah. If a person lives in a pundiki chutz la'aretz, so an hotel in chutz la'aretz, so for 30 days, so if he's there for more than 30 days, he's not mechuyev to put a mezuzah. It's not considered to be a diras kva. However, Nasan, if you put the mezuzahs there, lo yitel. And I'm not sure what the difference is between this case and the case of by the guy where you're allowed to take it with you. I don't know why over here the Gemara says that you shouldn't take it with you. If it was about a guy renting from a guy, you can take it with you. If a Pundik Eretz Yisrael, it doesn't say it's owned by Yid, so I'm not sure why you cannot take the mezuzahs with you. Okay, Rabbi Yaakov Ba'acha b'shem Rabbi Yoshia, mipnei Ma'aser She'ira. And again, we go repeat the story again. Okay, we didn't bring it down in the first case. Okay, we'll go with the Rechak on the Reb Chaim Kanievsky. The next one, Chalonis Hamoloin. If you have, you could say it's like a motel, sorry. It's like a Motel 6 kind of place where people are there, where people stay there really on a very, very temporary basis. To get caught on the side of the highway, they have to take a nap, go to sleep. So the chiddush is over here, chayavis b'mezuzah, even though it's a place that's mamish meant to be temporary. So you would think even if you're there for 30 days, you shouldn't have to put up a mezuzah. Mashmal, no, you put up a mezuzah. Okay, that's from Chen Kanievsky's pshat. Chaloin shu arba al arba, so it's 4 by 4. Shavodim yoshvin sham. So the servants and the days for air conditioning, they would sit over there on a hot day. And they would stand there with those fans, like the Japanese fans, and they would wave to cool off their masters. Chayav mezuzah. Those kinds of windows are mechuyev in a mezuzah. Lulim. Elu agav elu chayav mezuzah. If you have lulin, the best way to describe this is like a submarine or a ship, like a naval ship. A submarine is probably better, where you have different decks, and each deck has a hatch to go up to the next deck. So even though, like Hindu Doras, Askuf Daria, so even though to get from one deck to the other deck, you have to step on the hatch to go to the next deck. Still, so you would think maybe as more than in a scoop, it's a threshold, not a door. And since you're getting from one deck to the next deck, or in this case from one aliyah to the next aliyah, it's considered to be a doorway. It's mechuyev mezuzah. Rabbi Yosef mitzdarad lechama lule the Rebbe law. Rabbi Yosef was upset he didn't get a chance to look at the hatch of Rabbi Law, to have Ovid min daitan the kol rabban. Somehow he did it. He performed it. That was yaitza. The way he set it up, his mezuzah over there was yaitza every single shita. Okay. Tefillah mezuzah mi koydem. That's a person who has enough money to buy either tefillah or mezuzah. What should he buy? Shmuel am mezuzah kedemes. He should buy mezuzah. Rab Chuna am tefillah kedemes. He should buy tefillin. My time to Shmuel. Why does he say that he should rather buy a mezuzah? Shekain hina heges b'yom tov and Shabbosis because mezuzah is noig every single day. Tefillin obviously you don't wear in Shabbos and Yom Tov. My time Reb Chuna then. Why does Reb Chuna say tefillin? You should read by tefillin. Shekain hina heges b'mefarish yam v'olchem midboris. Mitzvah tefillin you mechuyev even on the road. You're not going to be there. Mashen kein mezuzah is only mechuyev there on a permanent basis. Masnita Mesiel Shmuel have it. Have a Mishnah. It's that's a right. Shmuel tefillah shebolas oisnos mezuzah. That's a person that's tefillin. And keep in mind, in those days, everything was very expensive, and it wore. So now his tefillin wore out the pashas, but he can save one pash and use it for mezuzah. It's no problem. Oisnos mezuzah. Mezuzah shebolas, however, on the other hand, ain't oisos tefillin. You can't turn a mezuzah into tefillin. Can't take Pasha the mezuzah and use it for tefillin. So obviously, what do we see over here? Lama shemalim b'kodesh v'lo reading because you can only go up in kodesh. So see from over here that actually mezuzah is more kodesh than a tefillin is. Hadloch perek ha'omed, hadloch perek ha'omed, hadloch perek ha'omed li neder, and Mazel Tov on the siyum of Maseches Megillah.